Let's see if this comes up now. Should. Says we're live. Let me know if anyone can see that.
Let's check it out. I know like last time you had to adjust the sounds, like the balance of the sound a bit. Now is it?
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's fine now.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, we are live. Let me see if I can hear anything.
Right, I'm gonna speak and then let me know if how the audio is. Testing.
Let's see. Give me a sec.
Yep, you're all good. Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna tweet and we're ready to go.
Okay.
All right, the floor is yours, Daniel.
All good. Let me bring on the chat in here. Okay. Top chat. I'm gonna put in a hello here for everyone. Okay, cool. Well, I guess let's get this going. For today, we have a very good discussion going here with Dr. Disrespect's new game. I have been investigating this over the past few days, actually, and I wrote up an article, published it. I made a little presentation here for you guys. I'm really looking forward to discussing it with you guys because from the projects we've reviewed lately, I believe this will like set a new standard. Like these are like big words, but I think this project will set a new standard and like going forward for us as like crypto gaming, like content creators, like game reviewers, project reviewers. I think this will help us a lot as well in terms of like, oh, wait, so it is possible to do something like that's very properly done and like really like well thought out. So yeah, this is gonna be a big one for today. So as you guys can see here on the screen, DeadDrop is the name. Actually, the initial name was like Project Moon, but they changed it to DeadDrop. Maybe it was too crypto-y. And that's something we will see, like this kind of like how they cover the transition or like they like how they incorporate blockchain and stuff. That would be very interesting as well. But yeah, first things first, like, yeah, I do think this could be the next sensation in competitive online gaming. Again, this like basically the title here, like vertical extraction shooter. The game itself, the game genre is pretty interesting. Let's skip over to the intro, where like the game genre is interesting. It's in itself, but especially like I think like the big innovation, it's not necessarily there, but the big innovation will be like their approach to how they are developing it. So the whole concept of it, we have here like vertical extraction shooter concept. Can you guys guess kind of like what that could be about if you were like talking like does like vertical extraction tell you guys something?
I mean, for me personally, I think it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like Fortnite where you jump in and you're in like a survival mode. Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good definition of what I think it would sound like.
Okay. Yeah, it does have like, yeah, those kind of like battle royale elements. The extraction part, have you guys here like played like Escape from like the Tarkov game? Escape from Tarkov? I haven't.
No, I haven't either. But
Okay.
I know Dushan was talking about it last week, saying that it was a
Yeah.
extraction game. So it's
Yeah.
like you have to go in and then your goal is, I'm assuming what this game is you basically go in like Fortnite and then you battle it out, but the goal is to survive and exit the
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the whole concept of it at this point. That's the whole concept. Yeah, you just get dropped into a map in a random spot on the map. The twist here is like it's a vertical map, so it's more like in a skyscraper. Let me like let Dushan in as well. I guess he heard like, oh yeah, that's me. Let's go, Tarkov. Have the Tarkov resident will join. So that's yeah, that's basically the whole idea of the game. You get dropped in and you can choose your, and from what I've studied, like what I've researched, it's kind of the same with Tarkov as well. You get the loadout where you kind of get to choose when you drop into the map. You can like go like just naked, just no equipment at all, and just like try to loot something as fast as possible, like in a traditional battle royale, right? Like PUBG, I guess like Fortnite is the same. Or you can like have your full loadout, like the second you get in, you're like fully loaded, you're like ready to battle. So that's an interesting component of it. And yes, the purpose is to like get more loot, upgrade your gear, and battle it out with the other players, where you also like make it out alive with the loot. If you die before like getting extracted, if you don't reach the extraction points, you lose all your loot that you collected and the loot you entered with. So if you're like, let's say like this, and this creates a like a really interesting dynamic. We're gonna talk more about this in the gameplay loop and the gameplay section, but you guys can see how like the game is far out, where you have something at stake. If you like choose to go in with your like best gear, if you're dead, you're dead. You lose your gear. So I think this is like a new concept of a game. I actually watched some videos where this is kind of like the new battle royale, if that makes sense. Like you know how like battle royale had its crazy days, and maybe this is the next. So we are maybe in the right spot when it comes to game genre as well. But moving forward, it's like it is developed by Midnight Society, so we're gonna see. But like Midnight Society is basically these 4 co-founders, one of which is Dr. Disrespect. I guess he has the biggest brand, but all of them are really legit, like really guys, like heavyweights in like this gaming business, like 14-15 years AAA gaming, like really all-star team. Like it's yeah, I like this Midnight Society. That's the team, and they are bringing a new way of developing the game. Built using Unreal Engine 5. I guess that's the standard nowadays. You want to make a game, you want to make it look very good, Unreal Engine 5 is basically the place to be. And yeah, like we said here, led by industry veterans and the influencers like Dr. Disrespect. So yeah, that's kind of like the main idea here about like what we're gonna go into today. I am since we are a crypto gaming focused group here, I think we're gonna spend a bit more time when we're covering like Web3, their Web3 elements, because I think that will be interesting as well. Before moving further, actually, I want to quickly say this is, and what I like about it, this is the first game. They are like again, developed by Midnight Society. They are like their own publisher. They are this like development team. They are planning to put out more games and kind of build up the complexity around this as well. But this is the first, I guess, proof of concept. This like first extraction shooter that they are putting out. Okay. So actually, any questions here in this section? The goal was just to give you guys like a brief overview of like what we're going to talk about. But if you guys have some questions here.
No, all good. Let's move on.
Okay. So this is one of the big things that they are bringing to the space, and it's very obvious when we will like talk about it, like how they have been thinking about this for a long time. And you can see their experience basically in the industry. So here is like the part where we normally talk about like the value proposition, like what are like some problems in the industry that they're trying to address. So here, like the problem is the disconnected game development, and I will give you guys a bit of a more like a rundown on that. But basically, the development process is being driven by like publisher milestones. So that means like a lot of pressure on the developers to get the game out by a certain deadline. And it often, like the bad thing is like it often results in like unfinished games being like rushed to the market. I guess we can all think of like some examples. I guess like for me, like Cyberpunk is like probably the most iconic one, where it had a ton of bugs, but again, the publishers like push the developers, no, you have to get this out. And basically this is kind of like a lose-lose scenario, I would say. So, and this is also like the game is under development for all of these years, and like the players who are like the game is intended for, they have no idea how the game will look like, feel like until the launch day. So while they're building the game, they're like trying their best to like think about, okay, like will this be good for players or not? They don't really get that much feedback in the development process. That's kind of like, again, one of the issues we have in the traditional industry right now. And again, these problems have been, the guys on this team, they know them very well, and that's where they kind of like thought like about the solutions to this. And I guess it all culminates in the issues with like like they're calling it like the highly scripted on-stage demos at events like E3, when they like you have like this sick demo and like again like very scripted, like it really brings up the hype, it really brings up like, oh okay, this is gonna be amazing. And of course then you have a project that is like rushed out without feedback from the players, and that's how, yeah, I think it's like a lose-lose for the industry. But that's kind of like, again, like we talked in other times, this is how the incentives are right now in terms of the traditional industry. So specifically the issues here are like with this system, this leads to like a lack of transparency, a disregard for player feedback. And yeah, basically this is the whole issue, like a disconnection between developers and gamers. So this is like the problem that they want to address. And yeah, let's see what they want to do about it. Like, let's see like their twist here and why they chose maybe to incorporate some blockchain stuff. So when I first thought about the game, when I first heard about it, I was thinking, okay, they want to like leverage some NFTs. They want to like, okay, maybe like make it a bit more decentralized. But no, like the whole NFTs, and we will see here, the whole NFTs and like incorporating blockchain, it's actually from the ground up, and it's actually like from first principles thinking of like solving the bigger issue and making like basically pioneering this new approach to development, I guess. So their vision is to like revolutionize the game development process by prioritizing transparency, collaboration with the gaming community, and basically they are breaking free from the constraints of like the development models, the traditional ones. And that's basically they're really emphasizing like complete transparency. They're building the game up from day zero with the gamers in mind. So just like from the beginning of the development of the game, they constantly have feedback. They don't keep everything hidden from the players, and they are trying to like really have and that's kind of like a big thing here, have the community have like a big say into like how is this game developed. They obviously have a very good idea of like what's going on and like where they want to take it, but this is like a huge thing that they want, like complete transparency. And for the founders, and we'll talk about like who like the founders pass as well, but for like their core contributors, for like the core community, let's say, they are doing a very good job of like updating them. Here, guys, okay, here's what we are doing with our game. Here's the direction. Here's like what we have done so far since the last update. So they're very good at that, with like being like completely transparent with 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 their community. No NDAs required. Again, this is more like creating for, again, the founders pass that they are putting out. It's not requiring, like, you can like make content. If you have like the founders pass, we can do like all kinds of stuff, promoting yourself, promoting your brand with their project. A diverse range of voices. This is basically the founders pass. Basically, they gave out 10,000 of these, which are the NFTs, the founders pass, and they had, and again, that's kind of like where we are reminded of, okay, this is something big. We're dealing with like big names here. Off the bat, they had like 400,000 applications for these like founder passes. And they're not like shilled out. They're not, if you go, again, we'll look into that later, but when you look like at OpenSea, they really did their best. I'm not really sure exactly how, but they really did their best to distribute those founder passes in a very fair way. So that, like, again, we have 10,000 people that can vote on the direction of the game. And you have them there from like day zero again. And the game is still very early, but you have them there, and they can, like, again, dictate and it's not a cash grab, by the way, guys. Now you will see if when we look at the NFTs, they did not, I mean, they did make some money, but they basically gave these out like for $50 each. They're not like this, I don't know, this few $1,000 ships maybe from a game that I don't know if you will see or not. I mean, it's not that kind of move. They could have sold 400,000 of them. They chose to only do the 10,000 and stick to like the $50 price mark, even though people would have paid way more. Now the prices are over 10x from there. So again, I think some good things there. And the decision making, basically, the collaborative decision making is like Midnight Society tests a multitude of ideas together with the community, decides what feels right. I think that's the whole thing here, that the whole like solution they're bringing, this more connected with the community, communicating from day zero, having more people basically input their opinion of their game and dictate the direction. And I think I'm curious what you guys think here with this whole direction they're taking, and this whole, do you guys think this is like a real problem? This disconnection from like the developers and the gamers. I guess we saw this in a lot of game projects, right? Like World of Warcraft. And what do you guys think about their solution to all of this from what I've said here, like so far?
I like the idea of community-based approach. I think, you know, it's a all games would like to say they have good community, right? It's one of the most important things. I think one of the most direct examples of this is RuneScape for me, old school RuneScape. Once they started implementing a little bit more of a community-based decision-making process where guys can vote and you have to get over 70% of the community agreeing to an update, that was a pretty cool feature in the game where, you know, you can have an active say in some of the game updates. Obviously, it wasn't technical updates. I think that's when it gets a little bit messy. But just sorry, Daniel, to clarify. So it's just these 4 points that they've got. They don't have, like, for example, with the collaborative decision making. What is that? What does that exactly mean?
So yeah, basically they're like building it like each step at a time. Basically with this, they are testing a multitude of ideas. They're bringing their ideas forward to the community, and you as a founder or like the community has their say. Okay, like, we think this is good, we think this is bad. Let's go a bit more in this direction. So they have I think that the role of the community here is like they kind of can like steer the ship. They don't like they don't have the power, and I don't think they should have the power to like dictate what the ship is made of and like where the ship is going over, or like the like overall direction of the ship. Like they should not be able to like, okay, let's not make this like a vertical shoot, like vertical extraction shooter. Let's make it like Farmville.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So
That's how
I
it
was
works.
correct. I was correct in understanding it. So that means that with this, it's not really that comparable to what, let's say, old school RuneScape has or other games has. So for me, this sounds like, I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit critical, but it just sounds like a feature that they can talk about without really having like a clear, specific plan about, if that makes sense. It's just there. So with for me, with a lot of these new games and a lot of games that want to be successful, of course, community is going to be a big point, right? It's going to be one of the main points of the game. And of course, the community wants to have a say and discussion about how
Yes,
the game moves forward. But any game has that. Like any game should have that, right?
it should. Yeah.
Especially one that's online, right? An
Yeah.
online game that actually has people playing together and playing against each other. It's not a solo game. I think that is one of the key parts of a game. You don't really need to, sorry, not need. You don't, there's not really much, I guess, it's not really something that is unique in my opinion for an online game. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't play too many online games these days, so maybe some of you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like a feature of a game that is already there, right? Especially online games. So unless they have something specific and
Okay, yeah, they
direct
do.
like
They do
RuneScape,
have like
like
in terms of, sorry, just like to clarify that there,
Mhm.
like for like the 10,000 like NFT holders, like the founders pass, they are able to vote on the decisions, like on the they're like they can vote basically on the direction of the game.
and what
So
is
they
it?
have
Is
like
it like
voting
over
power.
50%? Is it like over 50%? What do they vote on?
That I'm not sure, like how like specifically how that works. I did not really find the info on that, but
Yeah.
basically from what I've read, they the guys with the founders passes, they can vote on the have like voting power.
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe they've got something in place. But yeah, as I said, I think the best example that I've ever seen in a game when it comes to this is old school RuneScape. I know I brought it up a few times, but I really was impressed when they introduced this. So if it has something similar to that, that's like the game that I always compare. Or the system that I always compare this whole decision making stuff in, because I don't know, when I hear like blockchain decision making, governance, all this sort of stuff, I always go back to the whole 2022 buzzword shit where it's like, you know, governance. One of our advantages is governance, but you don't
Yeah.
really know how. Not most people don't really understand how it works. Most people don't understand what direction it's going to go down. And to be quite frank, most people don't even engage in that governance.
Yeah.
Right? Like to give you guys an example, this whole new Arbitrum airdrop, right? One of the main use cases of the token is governance, right? So you get decision-making process of the Arbitrum network and the way it moves forward. But the community only holds 10% of Arbitrum tokens. Do you know what I mean? So is it really governance? And this is where my brain automatically goes to when it comes to collaborative decision making and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, sorry, maybe I'm being a bit skeptical, but yeah, that's just my views on it.
Okay. I would say yeah, that's how I would see a successful project being actually. You have a very competent team that makes the project and like builds the whole concept up, like veterans in the space, but they also take into account feedback from community. I still believe they should have the majority of the decision making power over the where the project goes and how the game will look like. But I think it's still like community feedback is still an important part. But again, like I said earlier, more like in like subtly like steering the ship in a right direction for the community. But I think the whole concept and everything should still come from the team. So in that sense, I believe they have like a good approach here. I don't think if you put too much power in the community, I fear that they would be too short-sighted, and
Yeah,
they don't have
yeah.
experience. Like they have experience playing a game, but not building a game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and like the wording here is also quite important as well. As you said, building the game, and on the title it says a revolution in game development.
Yeah.
By the players. What the fuck do the players know about game development?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that's an important point.
Yeah. I think they are important, but like, yeah, they should not play a key role. So yeah, I think this, like, too much decentralization, like power to the people, like it's kind of like shit. It's kind of bullshit. So I don't think it works in actuality. Okay. Anything else? Do you guys have anything else here on this section?
Just quickly, I think just going into the conversation around development leaks and stuff like that. You mentioned briefly how you think that they've done a good job of doing that, and I think Web3 gaming in general has done a great job at being able to provide inside information behind the development to the community. Some obviously better than others, but it's always nice to see that. I've never really thought about the whole NDAs affecting the company's ability to leak information. And, you know, given we're in a decentralized space, there's no central authority that's going to be putting pressure on the developers. I know Kieran talks about it with Illuvium. Any developer is allowed to post any sort of content that they create that's related to the game. So that's, that sort of stuff is what we want to see, and gives more power to the developers and what they want to release. And that, they're not really restricted by those conditions. So that's obviously good to say. But yeah, I agree with Roden. I think governance is a very fickle term that gets thrown around quite a bit. And
my name's Thirds, mate. Please address me as my title.
And I think it's definitely a good, I think it's a good point in terms of what actually is governance and whether it's suitable for this space.
Yeah, that was a good point. Yeah. Identifies as thirds. Okay.
Look, I guess one of these things is, it's just like we need to see proof before we can actually see collaborative decision making and fucking transparency and all this shit. Like, we've been in crypto long enough, we've been in blockchain long enough. I know this is a blockchain gaming group, but at the end of the day, if they want to slap these titles and call it a Web3 revolutionary game, and then they put all these points, let's see how it happens in practice, right? Because you can never know. We've read enough fucking white papers where they promise the world, and all of it's just bullshit. So I'm keen to see how they do this though, and I always compare it to RuneScape. Shout out fucking Jagex, old school Jagex RuneScape crew, because they have done a fantastic job of actually doing this. So actually implementing a good strategy for collaboration between players and the team.
Yeah, maybe they should look into that. And hey, hello to the guys in the chat, Dean, Scott, Corbett, I guess. You guys.
I mean, me and Scuzz always say, like, when it happened, when RuneScape is one of those games where, imagine if it had a blockchain version. And I know Dehan, if he's still in the chat, he loves that shit. He would definitely buy a RuneScape NFT.
Yeah. I want to make something clear, like, at this point in the conversation first. They're not like, this is kind of like my terms, my naming, like Revolution, like Web3 gaming, whatever. They're actually, they are trying, like, that. This is a key component here, and I guess let's mention it here before we go any further. In terms of their development, how they're framing things, they're trying to not use any Web3 terms at all. They're actually trying to steer very far away from, like, being like, they're not trying to position themselves at all as like, we're gonna like take over Web3 gaming. They don't even mention Web3 gaming. So their approach is, we're gonna just build a very good game, and we're gonna incorporate some features like that help with this, like, day zero development, taking into account like players and stuff, and maybe like a free marketplace, but they don't, and they do that understandably because of all the hate, right? With NFTs, Web3 gaming, people have been rugged. They're like very unpopular. Like they're aware. NFTs mentioning like saying, oh, we're just gonna crush Web3 gaming, bro, and like, yeah, just all these NFTs will be amazing. They know that will take more than give to the audience. From the audience, they will do more harm than good if they do that. So from what I've researched, from all like their website, everything, they barely mention the term NFT. It was actually pretty hard to find the term NFT.
That's
So
good.
they just like mention like as a like founders pass and everything. So they are with their project, they're really trying to blend together seamlessly. They're trying to like bring together both parts and like make both parts happy. The people who are for NFTs, decentralized stuff, but also the traditional gamers. So they're not, I want to clarify their stance on this. They're not like revolutionizing like Web3 gaming. They're not trying to do that because that would not be very popular at this point in time.
Yeah, well,
So
that's a good sign, because obviously, game first and
yeah,
the tech later, which is what we've always said as well. So
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
cool.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. The whole like development story, like their approach here. Yeah, the founding team, again, like they have extensive experience in gaming and esports. I guess Mr. Producer, if you can like bring up like the founding team,
Yep.
going a bit into it, like the four big boys here. Of course, we have Dr. Disrespect, Guy Beam, the 6'8" visionary, Mr. Two Time. Yeah, I did not know he was also like game dev and level designer for Call of Duty. I did not know this. Obviously he is the face, and I think that's very important. I think that's smart how they are doing it. He is the face of the project. He has again like 4 million YouTube subscribers. He has like a very, very big name in the gaming industry, and a ton of experience with actually developing games. So that's actually interesting as well, like the Call of Duty part. Then we have Queen Del Hoyo, practicing my pronunciation here. Creative director, lead sandbox designer of Halo, like Halo Infinite, 14 years AAA game dev experience. Level and weapon designer, Epic Games, Gears of War. So let's finish with the roster here. Co-founder, CEO again, like Samit Gupta, founder of multiple profit-driven businesses in gaming, esports, founder of BitRhymes, Bash Gaming, Boom TV, investor and board like in G2 Esports. Robert Bowling, studio head here, creative lead Call of Duty, 15 years, AAA gaming again, studio head, publishing head, all of this stuff. So I think, like we can see, we are dealing with guys who are like very, very experienced, and I think that's one of the main benefits of being someone like Dr. Disrespect here. Being such a big name in the gaming industry allows you to like who else can bring on like 14, 15 year like experienced guys to like work on their Web3 game in that specific niche. Again, these guys are like, they made shooters. Like this game is a shooter. They don't like Farmville founders making a shooter game. These guys made esports businesses. These guys are making game for the past 14, 15 years in like the AAA scene. These are like big guys in the industry, and they are like really, I think they have like an amazing team here. I don't think we have seen. What do you guys think? Did we see like a better team here, like line up so far in like a Web3 project?
I mean, this team is very good, and I just want to quickly comment. I like that one of the core founders has business experience. This is something that I continually talk about in the Web3 gaming space, is that we get a lot of fantastic developers, but they don't know how to run a business, or they just don't know economics. And having someone like this Sumit Gupta is exactly what I want to see. To go back to your question, is this the best team? I would say no. I would still say Gala Games team is better just because they produce Zynga, which is arguably one of the biggest social gaming companies of all time. And the fact that they've done that in an era where the internet was very infant. But this team is pretty good.
Okay. That being said, like how similar is Zynga to like what they're trying to build right now?
I would say Zynga had a range of games. Like Gala Games has a ton of games in their roster, and Zynga had the same as well. Obviously, Zynga was a bit more social gaming, so you had games like Farmville, Words with Friends, Zynga Poker. So those are a little bit more social, but I think the idea of having a roster of different games and being able to push those to the right target market is something that I don't think a lot of people have a lot of experience with, particularly at that scale in an environment where technology is very infant, i.e. the internet back then was quite infant. I'd be hard to argue against that for me. These guys, for example, lead sandbox designer of Halo Infinite, like that's great, but like you're a designer. Like, what do you know about, I mean, obviously being at the company, he would have learned a lot of other skills as well, but what do you know about marketing to someone? What do you know about commercializing a product? What do you know about tokenomics? Sure, you've been at Halo for 14 years, but what other skill sets do you have? That's why I quite like the idea that the co-founder CEO Sumit Gupta has said it, like it says, I mean, I don't know, probably need to fact check this, but founder of multiple profit-driven businesses in gaming and esports, clearly got probably good networking skills, knows how to commercialize something, how to run a business, manage employees, all that kind of stuff. Like that stuff you don't get from being a lead sandbox designer at Halo Infinite. I'm not hating on this guy. I'm just saying they just, facilitate different roles.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's what they're going for, right? Like they want to like each have like a key role and like each bring their expertise in that like specific field to like together build up a very strong team. I think that's a good example. Probably and I like your argument with the Zynga and like Gala Games also having a strong team. Okay, it's pretty good. So I think like the team looks pretty like really promising in terms of by the way Robert Bowling. I think he's attributed to like from the research I've done when it comes to the incorporation of like blockchain, like the NFTs and stuff, and the whole decentralized stuff. He's the one who basically came up with most of that, who explains how they are gonna incorporate like Web3 stuff. Just to put that out there. He's
interesting. So he's going to be managing all the tokenomics side of things, the NFT
I'm not
integration.
sure. Well, NFT stuff. So
sorry, they
I'm
don't
not
have tokens.
Yeah, they don't have a token. Thank God.
Thank God.
And they don't have a token, but he's the one who like when they explain like the Web3 stuff, he is the one in the presentation. I've read that explains how they want to do it with the decentralization and everything, basically. Robert Bowling. So I guess he's the one who saw like all the issues in the and the whole potential. So I guess he's the guy with the blockchain part of and we're gonna go into that and we're gonna evaluate how well he's doing it. I think he's doing it pretty well, but let's move on. When it comes to the roadmap now, because they have a different approach, it does emphasize meaningful progress over predetermined deadlines. So what this means is they're not rushing to put out like some broken stuff. They want to have like something good to show, and then they will like put up the updates. They will like, present it, and so on and so forth. that being said, they do have like a snapshot releases every 3 months. So basically every 3 months, the team releases, this snapshot of DeadDrop, which includes like a new feature, integrates feedback from the community from like previous versions, maybe like hot fixes could be like pushed in between snapshots, like feature requests and like basically all this stuff from like, so here we see more like the specifics of like how between each snapshot they're trying to take in like feedback and how you like the community can maybe like steer the ship there with like some features and like different kind of points there. So that's their approach to like the development part. Snapshot 5. We are at snapshot 5 now, and this is it's actually released like 1 week ago or something. Like, it's very new. And this is the first snapshot where they have public access. Now, everyone, we have here the tower key, pre-alpha access. This is the point where they said, okay, we think our game is good enough to like let the public test it as well and see how they like it. The tower key is not an NFT. You pay $25 and you have access to this snapshot and all future snapshots. So it's a one-time fee, it's a one-time thing, and you have access to play the game. Again, from day 0, the game is still very early, it's like pre-alpha, but they already opened it up to the public. Okay. Any other stuff here with like the development, with how they're doing it, the team? If you guys have other questions, if not, can go to the game. Finally, I played it a bit, so I played quite a bit actually. So I am excited to talk about this. At this point, so like the main points I want to put it out there before going into the discussion and my experience specifically. We have decent graphics. Of course, the game is very early. It's not like the graphics are not like polished, like amazing, whatever. But I think they're good enough. The whole, if you guys are familiar with Dr. Disrespect, is basically built. The game is built around his brand. The vision for the game is around this retro futuristic design, like this retro vibes. Again, with this like old cars, all this like old but like again cool. Yeah, it's just like retro futuristic vibes. That's, I guess, everything I can say there. The environment is very immersive. Again, you are in this like skyscraper, which has like links to other parts of like the whole building. The gameplay loop, obviously, we know this is very important, and we're gonna discuss this. It's like very engaging, like the replayability, very important. Unique mechanics, balanced difficulty. So let's basically jump into all of these. In terms of like graphics, sound, again, early. We don't want to put out like too much of an opinion yet. We know it's gonna be Unreal Engine 5, so we know it's gonna look sick. The gameplay loop, like we discussed in the beginning, I think this is what they're doing. Again, this is where you see their experience. I've tried it out and it is addicting. It is very addicting actually. So as you can see now, like on your screen, he's playing it. Basically, he's on the map here. You get to loot, very like, again, Battle Royale, you find loot, but like we said in the beginning, you can also load out full decked. It's like your full loadout, like sniper with all the upgrades on it, like the highest level armor, highest level helmet, and everything. So you can just like jump in there. But the twist is, if you don't make it to extraction, if you get killed or you die, whatever, you basically lose everything. So the gameplay loop kind of, it's like for hoarders, I would say. It's like encourages you to like, you have 1,000 slots in your inventory, and your goal is like do as many runs, like just do run after run after run, and accumulate the best gear to like basically beat competition in future runs. And I think that's good enough. That's addicting enough, because there's always something at stake. Like I had something in like a few games. By the way, you can find, it's not like your average like battle royale. You can also find like really sick shit while you're doing your run, while you're doing your, like you're running around the map. And I found some like really crazy items. I'm like, oh fuck, there's like some collector stuff here. Or like this like a magazine, issue of a magazine that's probably, oh, this gonna probably be like worth something and stuff. And then you get killed and you lose that. I'm like, oh fuck, like that's such like an emotional spike there. So I think the gameplay loop is actually, yeah, like very well designed. And you have these like I saw this guy like found like a graphics card in there. Like he also like don't know, like didn't know, like is this like, what's this, like is this an actual graphics card, or like what are you gonna like use that for? So you can find a lot of stuff, and they do bring challenges to it, of like, oh, you have the devs playing, and if you collect something from the devs, if you kill them and collect their like headgear or whatever, and you like extract with it again, you have some some sick benefits going on. So you have this collectible. They already implemented this like collectible aspect. And again, imagine you find a rare item and you fail to extract. It's like a really shit feeling. Or you manage to extract. That's again like a very amazing feeling. So I think they get you there with the gameplay loop, the replayability. I think there is a lot of incentive to keep playing it over and over.
Daniel,
And
you
you can always find something new. Sure.
I just got a question. So with
Sure.
how, like, does everyone join a lobby and then everyone drops in together, or is it kind of just a continuous round where people just drop in whenever they want and try and extract? How does like the beginning of a game work?
Okay, yeah, good question. I did not sort that out. So yes, it's like a classic. You find the match, you like it's fine, you queue up, and then you just like get dropped on the map with everyone else at the same time. And the battle royale element is you can like start off like in random places of the map actually. But the idea is that starting from the bottom of the map, it's like freeze element. So like the building freezes up like more and more from the bottom up. So it forces people to the top or to the extraction points. So you get more battling going on there. And if you think about it, the extraction points, let's talk about the extraction points. I think that's a very interesting mechanic of the game. So you have, from what I played like probably like over 6 hours now.
Nice.
That's how it is.
That's a good
Got my
sign.
money's worth. I got my money's worth. So far from what I saw, you have several extraction points. You have, first of all, the ultimate one, the last floor. That's like the last one. If like the extraction points close with time. So if you're not in time for the other extraction points, that you have the last extraction point, which is this lift out of the building for like before everything freezes up. And that's basically, that's the equivalent of the like the last circle in the battle royale. Like everyone gathers up there, and you can say, okay, I'm gonna be in this for the long haul in this game, and I'm gonna try to play it and like go for everything, like trying to be the last man standing. Or you have these other extraction points that are that close earlier. So you have a helicopter, which is they have a very interesting dynamic with the helicopter, where first person to the helicopter escapes. If you're the second, the helicopter is already gone. GG. You have to find another extraction point. You have a zip line that like everyone can take that zip line, but that zip line is pretty low on the map, so you have to be very fast to get to it. Otherwise, it's like already frozen, and it's like harder and harder to get to it and use it. But then that closes as well. And there are some secret extraction points that like I was like, wait, what's this? Like I'm just like running around the map. I'm like killing people, more like getting killed, but whatever. And I find it's like like this whole like big door. Like I was like, okay, let's press F to activate. And then like I activated and this like whole big alarm goes off, like basically letting everyone know around that, okay, this door is opening. So like, okay, fuck. And after like, let's say like 30 seconds, the door opens and you can extract. And you have these places around the map. They're not marked. You have to know the map. You have to find them. I found like 2 or 3 so far, just like by randomness, by accident. And that's it with the extraction points.
I actually have a question. Do you have a
Sure.
map, or like how hardcore it is? Let's basically
No minimap.
ask like
You
that.
have to be a savant. No minimap.
Okay, so that's basically copy paste Tarkov.
Yes. It is. Yeah, probably like Tarkov, from what I've researched, is like the most similar to Tarkov, but it's not like, again, on a wide map. It's like vertical. It's not like horizontal. Yeah. Another feature I did not cover here is yet you get to revive. If you get killed, you have 2 more lives basically. If it's early enough in the game, you can revive with just like with just a pistol, and you can like loot up. You can try to basically kill the guy that took your loot, or like just hurry back to your loot. So you have this dynamic. You respawn as a sin, they call it, and yeah, you can have another go. So it's not like one and done. If you lost all your gear, like I did, again, loading up with max gear in a game, and then I fell off the map and I lost basically my whole gear. Like, fuck, where is this gear? But I did not find it. And you get spawned in a random place. So you have 3 lives. I think that's also an interesting mechanic. The difficulty, I think it's also interesting to mention, because let's say, again, you want to be a hardcore guy, you can just like drop in naked and like, let's like make the best of it. You can have like basically different strategies you play. You can see here like Dr. Disrespect basically trying to kill everyone, or you can like be sneaky, get some sick loot. Oh, I found like this sick collectible item. I'm gonna just like try to get to the secret like extraction points, and I'm out of here. I put that in my stash. It's mine forever. Like, GG, guys. See you guys. So you have different strategies you can approach here, and I think that's also like the mechanics, the loop. I think it's very, very well thought out, very well designed. Like Dusan said, yeah, it does take a ton of like, a lot of like the main concept from Tarkov. Did you play Tarkov, Dusan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some experience with Tarkov and similar games. I mean,
how similar does it sound from?
well, like I don't know like what are their plans. Tarkov is very, very specific when it comes to what type of players it attracts. Basically Tarkov is super hardcore, and people love it that play it. You either love it or hate it. It's not like a game for everyone, because there's like so many things that you need to learn about the game that are not even related to gameplay. It's more like inventory management and planning the loadout and learning about a zillion types of different ammunition and what ammunition breaks what armor, and all this crazy stuff about velocity of the bullet and shit like that. And like if you want to get deep into it, if you're like into guns and stuff like that, then it's perfect. This game, I don't know how deep they are planning to go with that. Or like in Tarkov, it's like usually normal to spend like 30 minutes in the inventory before not playing the game, just like playing Tetris with shit that you have collected, or like preparing loadout, and then joining the game, dying in 2 minutes, and then going back and repeating the process. So it's not like it's really specific. It's not for everyone. Like, I don't really enjoy that part of the Tarkov, so that's why I'm playing less. Overall, what I really like is the game. The engine looks really smooth compared to Tarkov, because Tarkov is in Unity and this is in Unreal, so it's much better. I don't know why they're doing it in Unity. It's just a total fail. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like need to see like other aspects of the game to tell you what's the differences.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah.
Because
Okay.
that's the huge part of the Tarkov. Here, the gameplay looks more like a Call of Duty or PUBG or something like that. That when I'm looking at it, it's much more smoother, it's much more faster, it's much more engaging than
Yes.
Tarkov. Tarkov is all like clunky and slow and
Yeah.
don't hate me if you're a Tarkov player, but let's be real. I mean, the game does want to be as realistic as possible. That's the direction that Tarkov is going into. So, and this is obviously a futuristic game, so I don't think they have a realism in the mind.
Okay, okay. So yeah, by the way, I had to run to my bedroom because it had started like raining very hard with like rocks and stuff, like it's like the hail or whatever they call it, and I had my window open. So okay, now we're safe now. So yeah, from what you're how you're describing it, Tarkov sounds more like a niche experience for like people who are like into more like realistic stuff. Yeah, more like hardcore, a lot of like complexity. Yeah, while from my experience so far, yeah, like you said, like this game is trying to have a more of a mass appeal here. I don't think it is as niche. I think yeah, it's a bit more attractive to play for like the average gamer. What I mean. And yeah, it's more like Battle Royale, more like PUBG elements. But okay, so it doesn't have the immersion or like the craziness of detail at this point from Tarkov. Okay.
To be honest, also like maybe
Yeah.
just a moment that
Sure.
there is a new survival extraction game every week. Like, and like not many are beating Tarkov, so yeah, I mean,
yeah, it definitely
like
has
people are
its appeal,
trying to
right?
people are trying to find something that will work, and there are some like interesting games in development, and yeah, I mean, I would love to see this game. Like, it looks fun to me, but yeah, I'll let you. We'll talk about that in the end.
Yeah. Again, we haven't really seen. We're not really used to seeing games like in the traditional space. We're not really used to seeing games this early in development, like pre-alpha, and having access to them. So it's easy to like judge it. But like I think, I think even so early, so they have a ton of stuff. I was watching his stream, Dr. Disrespect stream, and he was mentioning how like, hey, you have this hideout basically where you have your stash of items, and to get to the map you will have to use something, like to get to the tower, right? You have to maybe like use this like cool car, or like he was basically dropping hints of like making it more immersive and adding different elements of gameplay, expanding the whole universe, not only having this like unidimensional extraction game, but actually building something bigger around it.
That's
So
actually a
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
That's a pretty cool idea. That when as soon as you said that, it reminded me of all the old school Need for Speed games where, you know, apart from having to just race, you'd have your garage. You go to your garage, you drive around, and then when you want to go to a race, you can either. It caters for both types of gamers. It caters for the gamers who just want to finish the game. So you can just like teleport to the race, or you can actually drive your car from your garage to the race and start the race itself. So that's actually, that's pretty cool if they're doing something like that.
Yeah, like from what from what I'm hearing, like again, like going a bit, when I went a bit deeper into it, it's they are building a bigger thing here. They're not like just building the game, this one extraction game, that's it. They will add layers of complexity and they will expand the whole universe, if you will. That's why you have this retro futuristic theme that's like characteristic to Dr. Disrespect, and I think we're gonna see a whole metaverse around it, if you will. Let's see how they do it. Not very popular term at this point, but yeah, they are definitely looking to expanding it. Okay, anything else that you guys want to know here about the gameplay? You guys got the chance to like see like Dr. Disrespect running around the map, like climbing some, can climb the pipes as well, which I did not know in the first place. I did not know about this pipe actually, but I did find it out by accident. So anything else you guys want to cover about the game? How does, so actually before we move on, like I'm curious, like just like from describing the game, maybe like seeing him play a bit here, would you play it? Would you guys play? Like, what do you think about it?
I think I personally would definitely play. I'm a big fan of Battle Royale games. I think I also like the whole lose your items. I mean, I played old school RuneScape for quite a while, and my favorite part of old school RuneScape was the PvP side of things. So, you know, risking stuff, killing people, taking their loot. I quite like that hardcore element of the game. So for me, this game appeals to me. I think the only thing is I don't play enough of these shooter games, and I'm just a little bit worried that how the matchmaking works. Because obviously, if I just come up against pros and I'm a casual player, it's not going to be that fun for me. And it's not even me losing my gear. It's just I'm going to get killed very often, and it'll be very tilting. So my question is there a rank system? You know, how are we going to differentiate the skill level of different players?
Well, yeah, we don't have that implemented right now because they just launched the public access, right? So they're trying to like just get games for everyone at this point.
For sure.
Yeah, I can see how that's a concern. That should probably be something important to address in the future, basically making it, because I think it does have a lot of potential to appeal both to like the pros, the guys who like want to be competitive, but also to the casual player. It's not that, you don't really need that much time investment. You can have a run or two or like 20, right? It doesn't really change your experience that much. Like getting items in your stash does not really like take that long anyway. Getting like a decent loadout, like the loadout I had here. How can I send this to you? Whatever. Gonna screenshot it so maybe you can bring it on the screen. Just put it in the Discord. If it's easy, if not, it's fine. Basically, like here, the loadout is pretty simple to you just need to do a few runs, and I'm already like maxed out here. I have the like heavy armor, the heavy helmet. I have the big backpack, which allows me to loot a lot of items. I have like an AR, like with also almost like with all the accessories, like the max level accessories, also like a sniper with like the good scope and everything. And you can see in my stash, I also have like plenty of other weapons. So it's very, I would say it's pretty beginner friendly, like casual friendly as well. That's what, they're doing a very good job of like having it appeal to everyone. And I just wanted to like, again, brag for one last time with this gear before I lost it in the match. So rip. Okay. Roden, would you play this?
I mean, yeah, I don't play too many FPSs, but I have enjoyed CSGO in the past. I've played a bit of Fortnite, but I'm not really too into the Fortnite gameplay. But yeah, this is something that I'd be into. I do like the similar to Ricky, I do like the risk element of you know, having to go and loot, and then it's like a bit of adrenaline rush. You would hope that it isn't too intense in the sense of you know,
I don't think it's too high stakes.
Yeah, there are plenty of games where, plenty of situations like in RuneScape, for example, where it kind of does ruin the game if you lose all your shit. Obviously, that's just like the risk you take by doing certain things in game. But I think that that's a very important thing in balancing, and we've talked about it many times in the past as well, how important balancing is, and that obviously includes matchmaking as well, which we've already talked about, because you know, if you get into a game with 5 pros that play 12 hours a day, and then you literally just get spawned killed over and over again.
Well, the good part about that, by the way, just like to cover that a bit, like, is you can just like be a bitch and like run to the nearest extraction point without trying to like face them.
And I also do like the element of other games where there's potentially a PvE element to it as well. So there's the PvP side, but maybe even an extraction with zombies or NPCs, sort of like Destiny 2, where you can do like little extractions with your mates and it's co-op. I think maybe that's asking too much of a game. Because then they have to develop both the PvP balancing PvP side, but also the PvE side, and then dungeons and all that sort of stuff, which they may not want to do. But ideally, a well-rounded game like that is what I would personally look for.
Yeah.
As I said, that might be asking for too much. And even a game that's well designed like Destiny 2, which me and Scars have played a lot of, it's still not as successful as it could be, right? And it's still nowhere near as successful as even like a Fortnite or a Warzone or games like that. So yeah, I would definitely play this game. I think it looks pretty fun.
Okay. Marek, would you play, from what you've seen here so far, from what we've discussed so far, would you play this game?
Well, the problem I see with this game is like they are competing with the real big boys, because the Battle Royale like market is pretty much taken by a few very big players, and even if I had if I had some desire to play Battle Royale right like now or in the future, then why would I pick this one instead of a fully developed, I don't know, Apex or Cold Warzone or something like that. So I'm pretty skeptical of.
I have answers to that. Like first of all, you would play this if you want that extraction element, which those games don't have. Then you have the looting part, which you can bring up to your stash and you can use it in future games. It's not like a one and done like in those games. And secondly, why you could want to engage in this game that is so early, you can find like sick collectible items or like skins that could be worth quite a bit in the future.
Okay, so that makes up a bit for that, but I'm still not sure, because I just think that in order to gain a lot of players, this game needs to be like developed exceptionally well due to all the competition in that market. So I would probably give it a try if I had some desire to play some games in that genre, but I see many challenges and obstacles for it to be a widely
adopted.
Yes,
like played.
widely adapted game.
Okay, fair.
But obviously, since it's developed on Unreal Engine, it looks fine. And I didn't like the lack of environment damage model, because you can shoot a wall or shoot a some wooden boxes, and there is no damage to it, which personally I find in 2023 not that appealing, but hopefully they will at some point.
Yeah, still very early. Like the game is not polished still. It's we don't need to judge that part at this point. It will definitely look much better. Yeah, you will be able to shoot boxes and see it, I'm pretty sure.
Also, does the game have some kind of tokens or just NFTs?
No, at this point just like NFTs. They will not have tokens. That's actually the next part.
Yeah, because I don't see much merits in having tokens, but I guess since you keep some items from one game to another, there might be some reason to adopt some kind of token as well.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Actually, yeah, we will discuss that element of it. Now in the next section. Before we move on, I would say also like I played, so the game is only like, I don't know, like 5-6 days maybe since they opened it up to the public, and already like I had no issues finding games. I was waiting like under 1 minute to find games. Like I could play like one game after another. It already kept me like engaged, and like, oh, I do not have to like walk around the house, like dance or whatever I do between games. Before like, yeah, to wait on a new game. And I think that says a lot about like having 4 million subscribers, being a very big name in the space for specifically this kind of game types. A ton of people are already playing this and are, yeah, hardcore into it. So
Think
yeah.
al-
Yeah.
Also, one of the big advantages of having someone like Dr. Disrespect, right? So we've seen plenty of guys get into web, like blockchain, and say, oh, we love blockchain and crypto, and we've seen the Logan Pauls and the fucking who else, De'Aaron Foxes, Kim Kardashians,
Yeah.
Lana Rhodes, like all these motherfuckers that think that claim they want to get into blockchain. But the difference between them and Dr. Disrespect, which I like a lot, is that Dr. Disrespect, he's actually playing the game and he's actually a gamer. So he's putting not only his reputation on the line with this, but he's also really putting in a lot of his content on the line as well. Because you expect this motherfucker to play the game a lot when it's in its full form, right? And I don't know how many streams he's done, but if you're claiming that, oh, I'm getting behind this game, I'm developing this game, I'm part of, really the structure of this game, and the ownership of this game, then you would expect him to play it constantly. And if he doesn't, then you can ask him, why aren't you playing the game? What's wrong with it? You bored of it, right? So that's why I like these sort of partnerships more than the ones that I listed before, where it's like, oh, Kim Kardashian, I really like big ass coin. And it's just like, come on, like, we know you're just in it to fucking pump. We know you're just in it because you've been paid 50K or 100K to do an Instagram post on it. So that's also another thing to add.
It's more organic, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you would hope it's more organic because it's yet to be proven. I'm not sure. I don't really watch Dr. Disrespect at all. But I'd hope that he's playing the game a lot, and he's.
You're saying that Kardashian's big ass coin is not organic?
It is. They like money, no, so it is. Who am I to judge? I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, first of all, I want to just touch on something that you guys mentioned here, like, because we're mentioning like Battle Royale, and this is nothing similar to Battle Royale. There's a huge difference because I played a lot of Battle Royales. I played several extraction games, and it's a huge difference. Just, it's not comparable. Like, the itch that these games scratch is just like a very unique, this type of extraction based ones. It's just, it's nothing on the market can give you this experience, this thrill and this excitement. I can bet that Daniel already felt something like that, right?
That's it.
It just like gives you this, like, adrenaline levels are on a different, on a different plane. Because like in Battle Royale, you always have a next game. You never carry anything over, you never lose anything over. Everyone starts from zero. You have 100 guys, one is the winner. This one is different. This one just gives you so much strategy ideas, how you want to, like, what you want to do in your batch, like, depending on your character, depending on your skill. Like, do you want to fight? Do you want to escape? Do you want to just loot? Do you want to play like a low risk, high reward type of play where you will just run naked with a gun and just try to, pick up something and run? Or you want to like go at, like a high chance of succeeding, but also a high risk of losing your stuff? And, like, it creates these very interesting dynamics that like no other genre has come close to replicate, or like not even trying to replicate at the moment. I like the idea that here in this game the loot is just so much easier to operate. Like, I do hear from your talking like that there are like different armors and stuff like that, which is something I is fine, right? Of course, you have to have differences between a starting player and experienced player.
Yeah, you have
they
like light. Well, you can
Mhm.
pick all of them up in game. You have like
Mhm.
for armor and helmet, you have light, medium, and heavy
Mhm.
at this point.
Do they have different ammunitions for the same gun? Like, is for, let's say, some rifle that you use?
Yeah, yeah.
Do they
You
have
have
like
it's like kind of
several?
PUBG. Well, no, similar to what you have like at this point. You have like AR, like this kind of like you have I guess 4 weapon classes. You have guns and semi-automatic guns.
But
You have
but do all AR ammo goes into
yes,
all ARs,
yes,
and
yes,
there's no
yes,
like one
yes.
that breaks hard?
No.
Okay, yeah, because you see, that's one of the parts of the Tarkov that I really didn't enjoy.
Mm,
Because
okay.
in Tarkov you have like different ammunition that can't penetrate some armors, right? They have like a levels, so like they only have like a low chance of penetrating. So what happens in the game is that because everyone has a vest, right?
Yeah.
Armored vest. As a beginner, you need to start shooting people in the legs because they don't have like a unbreakable armor on their legs. So it just teaches you like a very weird and bad, in my opinion. Like
Okay.
it tries to unteach you from years and years of experience that you had to shoot someone in
Interesting.
the chest or in the head, right?
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
have like here some helmet that's unbreakable, and you have a gun that can't like shoot through them, and you have to fucking shoot them in the legs to kill them faster. And
Hmm.
it just like creates this stupid thing that
Yeah, it's weird.
I had to shit on the I don't know how many 20 something years of gaming experience that I have collected and muscle memory to aim for the head. Like
Yeah, it's weird.
terrible. And here this I'll say it looks like a kind of a dumbed down version. It's not dumbed down, actually, it's the more cooler version, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's more casual and I like it.
Yeah,
And
maybe takes the best parts and discards like the unnecessary complexities, right?
yeah. So I'm like looking at the way he's looting stuff, and it looks like a PUBG
Yep.
or maybe even the Call of Duty one, where it's just like it's simple. You have like boxes, you know how many boxes you have left, spaces, whatever, and you just put stuff in the free space, and it's I like it. I will play it. I will definitely play it. Like, I'm not even concerning myself now with all the NFTs and how that will work out. Like,
Yep.
I have some doubts there, like how that will work out, like these like collectibles. And here's the thing, and also like this is one very important, and I haven't heard you talk about that. Is like what's the end game? That's like kind of the most important thing, and I think that's something also that Tarkov lacks. Because what they basically do is every several months they just do a wipe, and everyone starts from the zero. And I don't think that's in any way good for the.
Yeah,
you just don't.
You want like a long-term progression.
Yeah, you don't achieve
arc.
anything. Like what I just played for 2 months, and they wiped my stuff, and now I'm starting from zero, and there's no even a medal from the previous wipe or whatever, the previous season. Like, it's just you just like start from the zero, and it just becomes boring. I talked with many guys that like started playing game and stopped because they didn't just like that they lose their progress every few months. And I'm not sure like how this game is planning to do. Maybe they don't need to do that. Maybe they have some other things. But like, what will be the end game?
Yep.
Because if it's just like looting, and you loot yourself, and you are now like paying, but even that PvP will become boring at some point. So I just hope they have. Of course, I think they have some ideas probably, or otherwise they will not just like have the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. Hopefully they will develop again other aspects of the game. So again, like how do you get from the stash, from your hideout to the playing field? So hopefully they will add more complexities. Another thing I would say there, another purpose for you long term could be like to grind out, like maybe find these cool, very rare collectibles that maybe you can sell them on the market. Finding cool skins you can sell. So maybe that's I do agree that that is important, and yeah, hopefully they will implement more and more. But at this point, that's kind of like how I see this.
Are they making this only like multiplayer, no campaign or something like that, or
I don't know. I
they
think at
haven't
this
mentioned?
point they're making this kind of like extraction, this like shooter
Mhm, mhm.
extraction, vertical extraction, and I would guess, right? Like they first want to get this done, polished,
Mm,
and then maybe they will look into like develop, like
yeah.
linking it. Because I think that's what they're going for, and I think that's a very smart move. For imagine if PUBG had other elements, if like I think like Fortnite, I'm not sure if it has other elements. I know it has a ton of
Mhm.
features or whatever skins and everything, but I think this is the future, building like one game that people love, but then like also building a universe around that game. And I think blockchain kind of helps with that, having this like again interoperable space like Illuvium is already doing, obviously. But I think that's what I think that there's a lot of potential in that, in terms of like, instead of like a one-trick pony that people will get bored of, right?
Well,
Like
yeah.
you have people's attention expand from there.
Well, Fortnite does a fantastic job of what you said. You have your Battle Royale, but then you literally have like 20, 30 different other game modes. You can do zombies, you can do campaign, you can do like Fortnite's pretty insane. And now recently they've got all these community developed maps,
Yeah,
and
it's insane.
people are recreating Call of Duty. Like you'll never have to play another game again. You just literally go into Fortnite, and every game genre that exists will eventually be there at the rate that they're going. So Fortnite's doing a really good job at basically centralizing everyone for gaming. It's like basically never have to go and play another game again. Just come to Fortnite, any genre you want, it's there.
Yeah, and this new update with this Blender stuff or what's for Unreal stuff is just a game changer in my opinion. It's just such a huge update and it looks so good. And I don't know if you guys remember, like some time ago when I show you guys about like a Blender and how it is, it is to and now when you compare some of the stuff that players have created for their like for free, community guys. One guy that made, like, it looks so much better than some of the demos that we watched over the past several months in crypto gaming. Like, way better, way more complete games, way more complete products, and they look like totally different from Fortnite. If I didn't see a Fortnite skin or knew it was Fortnite, I will never guess it was.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the boss, the new, like I saw some footage of some like big bosses that look like, like Destiny 2 bosses. That look like, Monster Hunter bosses. Like, it's crazy. They can get any sort of character model in these days.
Sick. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think, so they are doing a very good job of that. Like Fortnite, I think at this point, hindsight looks like, wait, this is like, I think it's a no-brainer to do that with your game, to do that, like create a universe around your game, your brand, because you are building a brand, right? Like Dr. Disrespect, he has his own brand. Like this whole like vertical extraction, it will be its own brand. It has like a specific visual aesthetic that will appeal to some people, maybe not that much to others, but you capture that audience. Why not like leverage it like to the max instead of like being, again, this one-trick pony? And I think this is where the industry is going. Again, Fortnite already doing it very well, and that's what they are planning. It seems that's what they are planning to do here as well. Okay, with
Fortnite is like becoming built to earn.
Yeah,
because they want you to earn money, if I understood correctly from the few vids that I watched about the new map creator or content creation, Unreal Engine stuff. It looks like they are like want you people
where
to
is
create
this? In which game?
in Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
They build this new, Scott just mentioned it, the Unreal Engine map builder or whatever, content builder. It's not even just a map builder. You can just create like literally games out of it.
Nice.
It's insane.
Nice. Okay.
And they want people to, you know, build and earn money to get paid for the stuff they have built or something like that. At least they
Nice.
have mentioned, so I'm not sure like how that will
Nice.
end up, but that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So we're already like seeing some trends here. It's like then like we can wrap up on this section and we can move on. But we're already seeing like some trends in the whole industry. Again, maybe like developing an entire universe around your game, not just like this one game, and being more, again, listening to the community again, more like emphasizing, valuing the community more instead of like all of these like cash grabs. All right. So let's move on to the next, the blockchain elements. Again, our expertise, let's go into it a bit here and see what you guys think as well. Let's discuss. So yeah, basically they will have a lot of features, as you guys can see. Right now we have this founders access passes, yeah, are distributed as NFTs. The unique Visor Cortex design and exclusive benefits for pass holders. I put the link in the Discord, Ricky, if you want to bring it up, Mr. Producer, with the benefits basically for holding the NFT, having the NFT. We have the meta economy layer for the game, and industry guilds like the eyes. Okay, so like I said, first of all, yeah, so yeah, I guess there, if you like scroll down a bit, you will see the benefits. Yeah, founder pass benefits. Yeah, okay. Because there is a bit of delay. So what we have so far is these NFTs. And if you if you will continue producing and go to OpenSea, I guess let's talk about the first, like the NFTs. Look first at the NFTs part. From OpenSea, looking at their floor price there. Basically, if you see how they look, basically you have this helmet in game that only the founders have. So it's already flexing on people, already like you can distinguish yourself as being one of the few chosen ones, like the 10,000 chosen ones. Here, you have your own skin. It does have like benefits, but that's, again, like we said in the beginning, 10,000, 400,000 applied, 10,000 were, I guess, minted, and each based on their selection criteria who were like allowed to buy it for $50. It was not like it goes to the highest bidder. It was not like anything crazy. They just like wanted to make it fair and affordable for everyone, which I think, again, something to learn for people in this industry. And they already have right now immediate utility in game. You can already like use them in game. You can already like see people having them in game. So I think that's really cool. But they have gone up again. They have gone up in value quite a bit. As you can see, floor price 0.48 ETH, which is like $840 right now. In the OpenSea. Did you find the OpenSea link, Ricky?
Is it not coming up?
Oh no, I don't know. In the stream, I see their page in the stream, or maybe I'm a bit too behind. But you are scrolling around the page. Oh, okay, yeah, now I see it. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, that's kind of the NFTs, and they're called like variants. These skins you get, these called like variants. And again, like now back to the benefits. Again, you have one of a kind Midnight Society call sign, Visor Cortex that you kind of like saw there. Early access to the game builds and weapon tests, voting rights on game features. So again, this is something we discussed, having the voting rights on like where the direction of the game is going. Exclusive access to studio events. So this is actually also cool. They maybe have some events in the future. You can participate in events with this founders pass. Yeah, first dibs on merchandise, future Visor Cortex drops, early access to industry guilds via the eyes. So I would say quite a few benefits here, quite some utility, especially if you are lucky enough to get the $50 mint. That's really cool. At this point, it seems like the only way to invest in the game. Let's say you could invest if you want to like say, okay, this game has a lot of potential. Can I also make money from it? Like invest in it somehow. I would say this is one of, I mean, at this point, this is the only way. You could say, okay, I think the demand for this will go up in the future as the game gets bigger, and I want to grab one now for like 0.48 ETH, and yeah, I will sell it for like higher price later. I guess this is the only way at this point. Other like some other parts that we have not seen yet and is only hinted at. We have the economy, the meta economy. Let's see. So basically, from what I've seen again from one of the founders, how they want to do it, it seems you will have the NFT element. So I think they will do skins. Pretty sure they will do skins, and basically, yeah, with the high value, like a lot of the items you get in the game, you will be able to trade on a free open NFT market, probably open market. And the way they said it, to not throw off NFT haters, they said, hey, we want to embrace both sides. If you're a gamer, you can either play the game and not engage with the decentralized aspect, marketplace aspect at all. You just like gather your items or you like play whatever. You don't have to engage with that part of the game if you don't want the decentralized blockchain element. Or again, if you're like Web3 enthusiast, NFT proponent, or whatever, you like that feature of the game, you can openly transact items as well. Or if you are the guy who like hates NFTs, whatever, let's say you play the game for like, that's the example they gave, which I think was cool. Hey, you have like Dushan was saying, you play like with Escape from Tarkov, right? Hey, you have played this game for like 1-2 years. You have a lot of sick items in here. You have the option of like, hey, why not go on the market and you don't want to play the game anymore and get some return on the time you invested in the game and try to sell those items, even if you did not engage with the market before. Maybe let's say you want to quit the game, you want to do something else, and you can still engage with the economy later. So I think that's a good way to do it. They're not forcing you to do it. Embrace the whole like NFTs and stuff. If you want to do it, it's fine. If not, that's also fine. Not forcing it on people. I think it's good for their PR strategy. I think that's again will keep people happy. And the industry guilds, we did not see that much. I did not find that much info on this, but apparently the industry. So yeah, basically they will add this meta economy layer for the game, which will form the core of the industry pass holders. So basically the industry pass holders, also known as the eyes, will form guilds. So you will have a guild element to the game. Again, adding more complexity, will form guilds and play an essential role in the game's economy. So from what I've learned, these guilds and stuff, they will have rights to produce the skins. You will be able to like produce the skins and sell them on the market. I don't know what the mechanics there will be, but I think that's again also yeah, basically the industry guilds will be responsible for running the in-universe manufacturing of weapons, mercenaries, and cosmetics. This high level of utility within the game creates a strong demand for the NFTs, potentially increasing their value over time. So yeah, imagine you get like guilds in there. You have like again some other complexities to the game, and have this vibrant marketplace where you don't only have this like founders NFTs. This is only the first step. They are dropping hints. Okay, you will have more to come. So yeah, I think these are the main points into how they're incorporating like Web3 elements. What do you guys think? Like, are they doing it right? Should they have a token? Is it like a good approach? They're trying to like make everyone happy, NFT haters and NFT lovers. The direction they're going. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of no tokens. So Well, I mean, tokens make sense in very specific scenarios. This is definitely not one of them. I like the idea that everything is kept to NFTs. That's generally my thesis for Web3 gaming, is that I think if you are going to implement blockchain, it should be NFTs.
Yes.
I don't particularly see the point of tokens, except for rare exceptions. In terms of how are they doing the NFTs, I think it's good. I quite like the idea of these guilds releasing their own skins. Yeah, like you said, I'd be interested to hear the mechanics behind it. But something similar that's happening with Illuvium, allowing players to control the supply of the skins. If you get a blueprint of the skin, you are basically the manufacturer, the owner of the skin, and you get to dictate whether or not there's going to be 1 million of these skins or one of these skins. I think that's a cool concept for the community, more so. Yeah. But my only question is, and perhaps you might go into this further later on, so just let me know if I should wait. But why would anyone want to buy the NFTs as opposed to, like, what's the incentive to buying an NFT off the marketplace versus grinding it in the game?
Well, I would guess it's just like you don't want to put the time in.
Right.
If you don't want to put the time in, or rarity. Like, let's say it's like hard to find, or like flex. I guess maybe like similar. I'm not too, again, probably Dushan has more experience there, but again, maybe like the skins in CS:GO, where like some skins are very rare. You want to flex that skin, you want to like use that skin, and it's very hard to grind in game, like to find it yourself. And then maybe you would buy it off the marketplace, which from my understanding is kind of like a proven model with CS:GO, right? The skins.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Dushan's there, but the skin model is definitely good. But the problem is, I feel like the demographic doesn't line up. Like, the people who are willing to buy really expensive, rare skins that are susceptible to being lost in battle, like, the people
maybe
who
those
want to
are
flex,
not. I think there is one skin. I think I have one of those rare skins, and I think you don't lose them in battle.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, I was gonna say, I feel like the people who are going to buy the ultra rare stuff and want to flex those in game are the ones who are going to be skilled enough to grind it themselves. That was my only concern, is I feel like the incentive to buy rarer items is not there with the demographic that want to buy it, unless you have skins that you don't lose upon death.
Yeah. I think you don't.
I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah, you don't want to spend like 5K on a skin, like go in game and lose it in the next game.
Well, yeah, and the people that are willing to spend 5K on that skin are most likely very good at the game, and as a result, they don't need to buy the skin, if that makes sense.
I don't know if there's a one-to-one correlation there.
But from what you're saying, Daniel, it sounds like skins are account bound, right? Like, basically, you pick up the skin, apply it to your rifle, and every time your rifle will always have these skins, right? That doesn't matter if you die, lose that rifle, when you buy the next one, it will have that skin, right?
I this is just like all speculation. I did not find specifics on this. I'm just like thinking like how this could be implemented. I could be way off here, so yeah, I'm not sure how they will,
because in that case
do it.
Like, what's the difference then from buying skin directly from them? Doesn't make maybe only
I'm
you
not sure
can
how
sell
they
it
will
to
implement
others.
it.
Okay, yeah,
I don't know, like this like meta, like this like economy layer. Yeah, again, this is now it's like too early. They did not really discuss it that much. One thing, if you have if you have this like founders access pass, by the way, I think you also get this like brief from them, like what they like specifically what they've been working on, and like this more like behind the scenes updates that I could not find. So I think if you have one of those passes, you would get access to, again, what's going on behind the scenes and how they want to implement stuff as well. But again, these are like more like further down the line. Right now you have the founders access pass. That's the only NFT element they have in there. And yeah, go ahead.
You know what's like here is this weird stuff like going on. So like Tarkov in this game, obviously we figure out that they're like the same genre, very similar but very different in some way. So in Tarkov, I just googled and they say they have like over nearly 2,000 items, right? And all these items that you're picking up in Tarkov, mostly those are like guns, and then you have like attachments, and there's like quadzillion attachments, quadzillion types of ammos, quadzillion types of armors, vests, whatever. Then you have like these like more like cosmetic type of items. Then you have like these items that you sell, like which I found funny because someone mentioned in this game, someone pick up a graphic card, right? GPU. Yeah, that's also a thing in the Tarkov. Because you know Tarkov is, we are talking about a region that's like very badly hit by a war, and you know it has this post-apocalyptic vibe, so you will like think that stuff like RAM memory and CPU and stuff that you can find is kind of you know very value. So I'm not sure like how this game is gonna with their story gonna environment in the future leverage that out, but like if it's a dumbed down version of Tarkov, it can have like 2,000 items, right? It can have like 50 different scopes just for this one gun.
Probably unlikely.
So it's just gonna be, so if it's way less items, then it kind of, like in Tarkov, what you're grinding gear, right? Essentially, that's the point. The point is that you have, you know, a lot of money, you can buy every gear that you need, every gun on the market, everything. You can like put everything insanely good. You can go buy, you have the best chance to kill other people. You have, you know, you have fun. But what's here gonna happen? Like, okay, I collected all these guns. Well, there's not that many guns, right? We have several rifles. We have like few attachments. We have collected those. And, you know, if there's no variety of items, what are you gonna NFT then? Like, what's the what the graphic cards and stuff like that I just want to sell so I can get money so I can buy more guns and shit, you know, like it's
I don't know. I think it's too early for us to judge these kind of elements. I don't think like we have no idea what.
Right, too early.
And I'm just saying like these concerns, just like throwing them out, that you know, like maybe there are some potential issues that they need to figure out, or maybe they have already figured out.
Exactly. Like, I mean, again, I think we're not used to like seeing
in
the
game loop. You're for sure right. I forget all the time that I'm just sick of these games that never get out of the beta. They always stay in development.
I mean, I do agree with Dusan as well, in the sense that I'm a little bit like, what am I buying? If I'm not buying skins, I probably, like most hardcore gamers would rather just grind the gun as opposed to, I don't know, maybe we just need to see it in action. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, there are like these other like concerns, but I think it's not like, if this had been out for like, again, the full release for like 1-2 years, I think it's easier to like have an opinion there. But I think like based on how early all this is, I think it's hard to like, we don't really know what they have going on like behind the scenes and what their game plan is.
For sure.
But I am also I think this would be a very important element, right? Like the whole marketplace and how they implement that. I think we can agree that will be kind of make a break. Maybe it can really put it in front of its competitors a lot, like really push it like as a big game project if they do it correctly. And imagine, again, you can play this, you can extract, you can maybe even make some real money, whatever, like the NFTs part. I think it has a lot of potential if they pull it off right. I think they do have the team to do it, but let's see how they do it. One thing worth noting, by the way, they are making some money as well. They have, by the way, with NFTs, they have a 10% creator earnings. So every time it's getting transacted, if I understand correctly, they get 10% of the item, like every time the founders pass. Every time it is sold or bought, they are getting 10%.
Funny thing is, it's the same fee in the Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
skins, yeah, for trading on the market.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, obviously they have a ton of experience
Wait,
in like traditional.
What's
Yeah.
the percentage in Counter-Strike? I thought it was higher than 10%.
Yeah, wasn't it higher?
10%.
Is it 10%? Okay.
Oh,
The CSGO game fee is game-specific fee that is determined and collected by the game publisher. The fee is currently set at 10%. I think it's 10%. Let me just double check it.
yeah. Okay.
I thought it was higher, but yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
Okay, should we move on to the next section?
Yeah. So yeah, to wrap up on this section, I'm curious, like, would you guys buy here now we have the Founders Pass? Would you guys buy the Founders Pass at this point? And afterwards, I'll tell you my.
Like at mint at $50 or at
No, of course it's like a snap buy at $50. Come on, no, like if you like,
okay.
let's say now this current prices.
I mean, it's hard. Like I kind of like to buy things that I would play a lot. So for example, if I was to play I just got to play the game. If I think the game's fun and I could see myself playing it a lot, then I mean, it's still pretty expensive though. It's half an ETH, right? What's that, like nearly
$800?
800 USD.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, this is the problem. I'm like, oh, well, you know, Gods Unchained expansions coming out. It's like, would I rather pay $800 for DeadDrop or would I rather spend $800 opening packs? I don't know. For me, yeah, I don't know. Maybe 800 is a bit too much.
Okay. The rest of the guys, would you guys buy it or not?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think it's. I mean, I obviously we've talked about the project, but yeah, you got to play the project. You got to be into it to really invest that much money. And for me, I would think about it from a gamer's point of view. And yeah, it's just there's not enough value that I see for it. And the fact that it's not really a skin is also a bit of an issue for me personally.
Okay. Yeah, and I do agree, and that's kind of like what was my thought process as well. Like before even thinking about buying it or not, it's like, okay, let's play a few games. I bought like the $25 like access key, whatever, the tower key, and then I was like, okay, let's see. Let's see if the game is worth it or not, because obviously that would be a huge factor in it. All right.
I just want to quickly talk about. Sorry, there's people in the chat. So Dehin said it would be cool if you could use your Bored Ape to run around as a Bored Ape. So, I mean, we definitely have seen that in other games like Sandbox, where they've actually created the partnership. It'll be interesting to see if Bored Ape actually partners with a big game like DeadDrop, and you are able to run around with your Bored Ape. That would be an interesting concept. So that's a cool point. And then Zor Muo has said, have you heard about Sony doing all game transactions from console to digital collectibles? I think RDZ has done a article and a news video about Sony getting into digital collectibles. I'm not. Maybe he's better speak on that.
Yeah, that's
topic.
correct. Yeah, so they've patented a few things as well when it comes to digital collectibles through NFTs and also like a rental system as well. But yeah, it's nothing that's officially announced. But yeah, Sony is positioning themselves to get into the NFT game.
Sick. Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you for thanks for bringing that up. Zhao Myo Ong, my best try there.
Better than my
that's big, right?
Better than my pronunciation.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. You just like have to like just let it out. Just like roll with it.
You just gotta
don't overthink it. So okay. So we are saying, I guess we kind of like can see, and you were the first one I think to bring this up, Ricky, with like collectibles being the future. And this like space, like it's like only like a natural transition from physical to digital collectibles. And again, like Sony maybe doing like such a big move. And again, games like, again, Dr. Disrespect, he's taking a big risk. He's kind of putting his reputation on the line, right? With this, like, this is what they're doing is very like pioneering. I should add that Shroud as well, like, again, comparable brand, very big brand in the space, Shroud. He's also making a game, but he did not mention anything about like blockchain or like NFTs or whatever. I think he's just playing it safe. So I think for the Doctor here, high risk, high reward with what they're doing, basically pioneering this new way of developing a game. And we see how it goes. But one thing is, yeah, the NFT, and like you said, Ricky, here, like maybe NFT only is the best way to go for a gaming project. Because
I think at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to decouple from crypto, right? Because if you have the token, like the whole like fluctuations from crypto, like if you have a game that's like then it only has NFTs, it's only like on a blockchain, it's basically bulletproof, whatever. Then you don't have to deal with this whole craziness of like crypto. You can just play your game and just be on the marketplace, and that's it. You don't have to worry about crypto. But you have the NFTs, the NFT technology for the in-game collectible and marketplace functionalities. And that's probably the way gaming will move, right? Into Web3 or whatever, to blockchain, just like NFTs. And we're seeing like more and more, we're seeing like tokens just add too much complexity. As I say this, my webcam just went out for some reason. Okay.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Adding tokens just makes it way too complicated. And I mean, we see projects that, you know, where tokens do make sense, more so specifically in the DeFi space, and they still can't manage to get it right, or there's some sort of issue. So if a project that specifically designs tokens and they can't get that right, how is a gaming developer ever going to get it right? So yeah. Anyway,
Kids are gonna develop PTSD till age of 14. I mean, imagine this stuff, man, like losing 100K in NFT.
Yeah, I think it yeah,
it's
we'll
gonna
see
be
how that.
It's gonna be sick, man. Like,
yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like as games become more and more real life stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's quickly, because yeah, we are quite a bit in the mix here for quite some time. Let's just like quickly finish it off. User adoption, engagement, again, they're like leveraging like influencers, like the Dr. Disrespect. Again, it's a huge thing. He alone can bring a ton of people to just like to try. Like it's like so valuable just to have some way to like bring people to try your game, right? Like there's probably a ton of games, well, maybe not that many, but games that are very good out there, but they cannot get their name out. And I think for that, Dr. Disrespect is very good. Strong community, following on Twitter, Discord, again, like huge following. The active user engagement and support, promising future adoption and growth. So I've been in the Discord, of course. Like how we do, like, okay, let's, like, if someone wants to help out with the research, give me some resources. Nobody gave a fuck. And that's when I got reminded, wait, this is not a group that's like shilling their project, that's like very incentivized to like make me buy something because their bag's value will go up. These are just like random game nerds who don't give a fuck. They just like want to play the game, have fun, and find enjoyment, entertainment. So in that sense, let me make it more dramatic. Bring the zoom in here. Yeah, in that sense, my experience was like a bit less welcoming. Just like nobody gave a fuck, like nobody just like interacted with me. Just like players like shit talking about the game, or like just like having fun, or just like, again, gamers being gamers. And it was not like a wilder world, like very welcome community. Hey, let's show you around. Like nobody had any idea what was going on, and they're just like there to have fun. So not very, yeah. But there is like a ton of activity of on the Discord. I don't know how many people they have on there. I cannot find it, but a ton of activity. Yeah, like Zaw said, yeah, Doc is making a big move. Go big or go home. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's onto something. I think the way they're doing it is very smart. I think, yeah, again, very promising for like the future if they pull it off, and I think they do have the team, the potential to pull it off. I'm bullish. I'm definitely bullish here. So yeah, conclusion, DeadDrop here, like groundbreaking. I like the groundbreaking vertical extraction because it's like you're going up. Revolutionizing, yeah, game development. Again, they have this like community driven approach, and again, all their very different approach from traditional gaming. Or like, again, we are not really used to seeing a game this early, like pre-alpha, and like getting so much usage and play time. You have the engaging gameplay. We discussed the unique mechanics, the blockchain elements, and yeah, I think it is the right genre. I think that's important. Like, for example, I don't know, like, not to hate Ricky, but like a car game is not gonna make Fortnite levels anytime soon, right? I think we can agree on that.
I can definitely agree with that.
So I think it is the right genre as well. It has potential. Like Dushan said, it's maybe like a more dumbed down version of Tarkov, but maybe that's in a good way. That makes it more accessible and keeps the fun elements, the elements that make the game good, and it discards the bad elements. You don't have to constantly shoot people in the shins to kill them. So that's probably not going for the ankle there. It's also like good how they're doing this. And one thing I would add, I think this is the future. I think this is the future, guys. Like what Dr. Disrespect is doing now. I think people basically having these big gamer brands and building their own games. I think that's the future of like the gaming industry. We don't have these like gaming studios, commercial gaming studios anymore, but instead you have these like huge names in the space creating their own games because they have way more trust from their audience. Their interests are way more aligned with the audience, and they already have these huge brands. If you have a huge brand, people like would at least give your game a chance. And you're also, if you have a huge brand, you're also incentivized to give it a very good try. And if you have a huge brand, you can also get a sick team around you. Again, like Dr. Disrespect did here, like Shroud is probably doing. So I think it's like creator economy, like this creators making their own games and their own like universes, metaverses, whatever. Yeah, I'm seeing a good mix here. I'm seeing a good mix for the project, and pretty bullish on it.
Well, that's the brilliant thing about the Web3 space is it becomes way more accessible for people like Dr. Disrespect to come in and create a game. I mean, we've talked about this a lot in the past. Like, the problem with traditional gaming industry is that it's very centralized. For you to come and create a game, you need a lot of funding. You probably need a big team, and your goals and objectives probably need to align with a big studio. So that's definitely a big win. And if hopefully Dr. Disrespect does complete a successfully polished game, that would be really, really good for other content creators to be like, hey, I can do that as well. I've had this game idea for ages. I can go through the Web3 route and produce a game myself. So I think the opportunity there is definitely is important. Just want to quickly touch on Zor. Have you guys listened to Hex's interviewing the studio head of DeadDrop? Anyone seen that interview?
No.
Oh no, you said
that
no,
that sounds interesting.
Okay.
I would look into that as a potential investor. Guys, you should play it. If you play the game, after you play the game, you will want to buy the NFT. Trust me.
So like $25 to get in?
Yes.
Was it to get the Tower Pass? Okay. I mean,
Yes.
I'm open to playing different
all
games,
access for the rest of your lives, guys. Just $25. Just for the future snapshots. You already have a player base. It's good. Maybe I'm gonna play it. And one fun element of the game I did not add in here that adds even more complexity. Like, again, you have the different strategies. You can shit talk. You have proximity chat. So that makes it. And I saw scenarios where you can negotiate with the guy. Hey, let's not shoot each other. Let's both extract. Let's just like Yeah, we all have like we both have good loot, whatever we maxed out. Let's just like both go for the extraction. Let's not shoot it out here. And of course you can fuck that other guy over, and or like you can like again like shit talk other people. And yeah, I think that also adds some strategic, like will you collaborate or not elements. I think that also adds even more fun to
What's
to the game.
what's the GTO strategy, Daniel, in that scenario?
Well, probably GTO is always say you collaborate and shoot the guy, right? That's the
Yeah.
like that's the GTO. Because
Yeah. I
why?
agree.
Because you will probably not meet the guy very soon again. If you will meet him again, then it's probably more EV, it's more GTO to collaborate. But if you know that's the only time, yeah, you just say you collaborate and just shoot him and take his loot.
It's basically the prisoner dilemma.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's the same
So are
shit.
you talking from experience?
Me?
Have you
I haven't even used my mic.
These
okay.
games are amazing. Look, like you can like be very creative with it. Like you
Yeah,
can fucking drop an item
Yeah.
and go into sniping nest and wait for people to come for it.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
be very, very creative. Like it's just, yeah, it's fun.
Are you gonna play it, Dushan?
I'm actually seriously thinking about because I like the guy Doc. I haven't watched him a lot, but I do check what he plays from time to time because I think he has a very similar taste for games as I do, like these competitive shooters when it comes to them. So I will definitely check it out. I think that having him is absolutely amazing. I think there are many, many really, really good games that just never made a breakthrough. And there's this very often issue that developers have. They try to build like a pro competitive game and they forget about casuals, and it seems like this game is actually doing a good thing about, you know, making it more like having this engaging movement and everything. That it looks very smooth compared to like some stuff that I have played. And I think if they nail that, and it's like some child between Tarkov, I even hate mentioning Tarkov now, but Tarkov, let's say Call of Duty and maybe PUBG or whatever, it can be really amazing. Like it feels like that, and I will really love to like feel how it feels under the mouse, right? Like when you play it, like how smooth it is. It's like
One thing I would say, maybe like the performance right now for the game is not going to be that good in terms of like FPSs you can get. I saw a video where you can double your FPSs, can like probably like YouTube it, but yeah, in terms of like performance, maybe you'll have like a bit lower like FPS because it's probably not optimized at this point. But yeah, keeping that in mind. But it did like move pretty well for me. It does move pretty well. You can I think you can still have like pretty sick experience even now. So and I saw maybe we should do that at some point. Yeah, I saw guys teaming up in game, joining the same game, and then like teaming up, like killing other people and fucking others over. Basically, I just kept hearing this like proximity chats, like okay, to do like okay, we're almost out, Okay, take that. Okay, let's and like on this like secret extraction points, like just then I say like, hey, stop talking, like just probably like heard my footsteps. So yeah, definitely opens up a lot of possibilities. And I think what you said, Dushan, is very important to not overlook. Open to both pros and casuals. I think that's the key. If you can if you can get both of them in, you have a big name brand like Dr. Disrespect. You have a sick team that can also, again, like Ricky said, like also has business experience, leveraging it all. Like, yeah, I mean, this is the way to go. I think this, and that's why I said in the beginning, I think this will set a new standard for us in terms of like how we're looking at projects, what to do, what not to do, how to go about development, how good like a top team, like guys with a lot of experience, how important is that, and being able to gather guys like with top experience, how hard it is, how important it is. and how not to cash grab. And again, I think we're seeing a lot of good signs here. So yeah, I'm curious, like, if you guys have conclusions here and if you agree with my opening statement that we're kind of like seeing maybe a new way paved here and a new reference point for us going further, looking at projects. What's your guys' takes here?
I think yeah, from the sounds of things, you are very optimistic about it, which is definitely a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I think for me,
Yeah,
at
it's
this
like,
point,
is
I'd
my
say-
hype justified, or do you guys think I'm just like overly hyped?
I mean, I don't think you're overly hyped. I don't think you're also underhyped. I think the perfect level of hype is there.
Perfect.
We always got to have some skepticism, but at the same time, we also need to respect and appreciate things that are done well. And from the sounds of things, it sounds like you think that the game. I mean, I haven't played the game, so it's hard from a gameplay perspective. From watching Dr. Disrespect's footage earlier in the stream, it definitely was engaging. I was watching it pretty much the whole time we were talking, which is a good thing. Because it's just, I'm like, is he going to like, where's the next person going to come out of? Like,
So it's
when
fun
he
to
had
watch
all
as
that.
well.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Like, there was a moment where he got like 3 or 4 kills back to back to back, and I was like, damn. And they were like good shots as well. So, definitely engaging to watch. I guess I can't really comment any further apart from I just have to play the game.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this game has a
or
sorry.
Dushan.
I
Yeah,
think
go
this
ahead,
game
Dushan.
has a really, really big potential. Just because he's so huge, and he has like all these like streamers friends, right? Imagine this game coming out, and you see and on Twitch or YouTube gaming or wherever you turn on,
takeover.
you will have like literally maybe even records put on this game. Like you'll have probably like 900K, 1 million people playing it. It's just very hard not to at least check like what is this game that 1 million people is now viewing at this moment.
Exactly.
Like I want to fucking go and click and try it and see what this is all about. And I mean it's gonna put a lot of pressure on them for sure, but I think they have a pretty good chance. Like not saying that it's all done, but they have chance. If someone has, he has with this game.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah, look, this is a competitive industry. It's a competitive game mode. They have experience. They have interesting concept as well with the integration of blockchain NFTs, which obviously we're a big fan of. But yeah, it's just something that requires time, right? Like, requires people to develop a community around it. It requires people to like almost develop a cult around it. As you said, Dushan, as you said, it's already, they've got a big advantage with Dr. Disrespect being in there. It's just a matter of how they push that. And there are plenty of games out there that have had potential and had really good fundamentals, but just weren't popular. So that's and for a multitude of reasons. Like there's really good games out there that just aren't that popular, right? Or that just lose interest after a bit. But yeah. Let's see. Only time will tell. I think it's an interesting project, and it's one to stay close to because it's one of those projects that, for us, it's very, very high on our list because it's directly targeting the mainstream. I think that's what excites me the most about this. Not the game.
Yeah.
I'm not too interested about the game itself, to be honest. I'm more interested in how they really get into the mainstream and how it could be like a case study for us, which is important.
If this blows up, like we could see a flood of AAA games in crypto. Like if this works out well, if this is the first one that really is golden goose of crypto gaming, right? The first one. This what's next? GTA 6 blockchain.
That's actually a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, if they put it off and they prove the model, it works, and it's like, wait, it's just like community driven, like NFTs for the founders, and like get voting rights, whatever, and then like people love it. Like, oh yeah, and I think that's. By the way, I really love this setup here. I think for me, like Dusan is up there, like his icon is up there, so it's like I'm trying to look at people here as like where I see them on the screen. So when I was like looking here when Rodan was speaking, yeah, I think it's kind of proves our point, or like maybe like the thing where we were saying that the huge blow up, like the huge like adoption in crypto gaming probably will come from like the big boys coming to crypto gaming, not from within crypto gaming. Just like the Dr. Disrespect's building a crypto game, and like this like a Sony moving it, like it's like the big companies transitioning into as opposed to like, and then like the other ones, like you said, Dushan, like the other ones following them. The other ones like, oh wait, this is proven, this actually works, that's a ballsy move. And the early adopters are getting a lot of the rewards, but they also have the higher risk. And yeah, I think that's what we're seeing. The huge moves will come from big players transition to this space, maybe not as much from like guys who are already in this space, not from within. Yeah. Okay, Marek, do you have now like other like any conclusions about the game? Did you like it? Did you like the project?
Actually, the most interesting thing for me was what Rodan said, like back like to like maybe 1 hour ago. He started mentioning that guy, Dr. Disrespect, whom I didn't know before, is taking some kind of responsibility for this project, and also with his 4 million subscriber viewership, it will,
Yeah.
if the game gets developed in some reasonable way, it will be easy for him to promote it and gain a lot of traction among lots of players. So this is kind of bullish, but on the other hand, we know we've already seen lots of cases where some influencers got basically away with pulling out some bullshit and promoting scams and fucking people over, and not taking any responsibility for that, and not even
Yeah.
not losing any viewership, and so basically getting a get out of jail card with after pulling some shady stuff, so that kind of balances out the positive stuff for me. So I don't know. We will see. It will be interesting to follow it. So nice catch, nice. Yeah, you basically, I think you found an interesting project to follow and see how it develops later on.
Yeah, cool. Rodan, did we get your conclusion?
Yeah. I just said that, yeah. I
Okay.
said that it's exciting, but we've got to wait and see.
It's a challenge.
There's a lot of
Definitely.
things that are unknown.
Yeah, it's a challenge to see how they develop, and yeah, I guess that's where we are all on the same page. We have seen like the good parts. We see the potential, and there's let's see how they execute moving forward. And I'm also really going to follow along with this project. Cool. Okay, then I guess we can wrap it up for the day. I am looking to probably also gonna make a shorter like video format of this, like summarizing what we've maybe like talked today, the article I've written, like in a more friendly format, so people won't have to like spend like 2 hours watching the video. And if they want to go more in depth, see everyone's opinion, maybe again like this is a very good place. I think this format where we discuss this kind of project, I think brings up a lot of very good, interesting views for everyone. So I guess we can wrap it up, right? Nothing else to say, nothing else to do. Thanks for following along, guys. Thanks for discussing the game with me here. Thanks for giving your input. I think everyone was pretty active today. Maybe that's what's needed. I like it. Bringing on good projects. And I think next time we will have Superior, or like what do we have next time? Next stream. Do we have that planned?
I
Or
can
not yet?
do. We haven't got anything planned, but we can discuss and we'll put a tweet out or something like that as to what we do.
Cool.
Probably in 2 weeks, 2 weeks time.
Cool. Yeah. So if you guys want to stay tuned, I guess, stay in touch, keep following us. I'm gonna still do these on our channel here, on our Twitter. We will have our Twitter is Gameonomics ETH. Just gonna, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna put it in the chat if anyone is in there still. It's in one word, right?
I
Gameonomics
can
ETH.
link it. I can link it.
Okay, or just okay, if you can link it, Mr. Producer. And yeah, thanks. We have 6 likes on the video. Gonna like
Nice.
it. Now we have 7. Subscribe if you want to keep in touch with us, and looking forward to what's gonna go on next in the crypto gaming space. Thanks, guys, for doing the meeting.